Welcome to the show, everyone. Today we're going to pay a little tribute to Akira Toriyama, the man who created the Dragon Balls media franchise that began in 1984. From the TV shows, to the manga, to the video games, to the card games. What is your favorite Dragon Balls memory? For the man who created and brought to us Son Goku.
Shoot, one memory, I could probably think of more than seven, because with the 7 Dragon Balls, but, we'll say that for those who know about it. To be honest, this dude has made a lot of people inspired, not by his action, but the intenseness of the fights between Goku, Raditz, Nappa, the Red Ribbon Army, Frieza, of all people, and also there was even Beerus and so forth and so on. Even the battles go down in the manga. However, what started things off on my end was when it first got aired in USA every Sunday morning, excuse me, and it was on Dragon Ball. And I remember, before we go to church, that show shows up. I think 30 minutes before we have to go. So is that right there? That's what I thought it was gonna be. It was gonna be just much of an anime. However, when it got to Dragon Ball Z, that's when things got really turned up. When it got into the origins of Goku, like when he became a Saiyan, or when when he discovered that he was a Saiyan, and then not only that, but Earth was constantly under attack by the Saiyans, starting off with Raditz because they wanted to make them wishes. Fast forwarding, we move on to Namek, where they encountered one of Goku's greatest foes, Frieza. From then on, we move on to the Cell Saga, the Majin Buu Saga. This franchise, what this guy has done throughout each saga, has pretty much inspired people to watch it, to even buy the merchandise, to show off their fandom. But what about you?
Well, growing up, when I started watching Dragon Balls, being a little kid at my grandma's house, I remember watching on Tsunami the Cell Saga, and my first encounter with Dragon Balls was watching Future Trunks just come in. No, I'm wrong. It was it was Frieza. It was the Frieza. When Frieza had invaded, how Future Trunks got Frieza. Look, my brain kind of froze, y'all. Don't beat me up.
No, you're talking about when Frieza came to Earth.
Yeah, when Frieza came to Earth.
Ah.
Then I remember a little bit later seeing the Cell Saga, seeing how it took all these people to beat Cell because Cell was the perfect life form, and how Cell ended up getting stomped. Then I remember the Majin Buu and the Android Saga, seeing how the story progressed. And then going to school, I kind of fell off from Dragon Balls a little bit, seeing getting back into it with Kai and Super. And I'll never forget when Beerus slapped Bulma and Vegeta had his moment to shine, and he just don't touch my.
You fella came out, what have you done to my Bulma?
Then I remember going back, rewatching the memories, seeing GT, seeing the original Dragon Ball, how Goku journey began from fighting the Red Ribbon Army, from fighting King Piccolo, to coming back, having to fight his brother, having to overcome Vegeta. It's over 9,000. There's a whole meme about it. Then I remember seeing that fight with Frieza, the first time him going Super Saiyan, and then being able to connect with my brother. You know, when I would come home from college, we would watch the videos to turn him into power. He was like, "Dawg, man, Jiren's so strong. Look at Hit." They finally made the legendary Super Saiyan Broly canon, which, you know, I think that's also, you know, pretty cool. We finally got Broly.
However, it wasn't a movie Broly. It was Super Broly.
Oh, camera want to flip.
I know, right? We gotta keep it still.
And seeing how each and all these characters have overcome the trials and tribulations, and the fact that Goku, he always able to overcome. He always comes back. Lots of times, you know, I personally think about, you know, a character that never give up. I always think about either Goku or Naruto, about how they always strive and always stand up for what's not just right, but always to keep going. And no matter how many times somebody is powerful, they still do it. Then you got to also look at how other characters have evolved. True. Seeing how Android 17 won the Tournament of Power. Seeing how Gohan was able to rise up. Like I mentioned, Vegeta's moment. Piccolo helping train Gohan. Pam having her time to shine in GT. These other universes. The movies. Which I think, you know, is just so cool that this franchise has been able to last so long, stay so powerful, in the amount of love that Akira Toriyama put into this creation. You can tell. And when he passed, how sad people really were to see, you know, this great manga artist go. This great human being who brought us so many powerful and momentous memories.
Also, on top of that, what was his inspiration? I mean, not only did it spread out in the Dragon Ball series, but something else that it also spread out in merchandise and also in different games. You know, he actually lent his power, per se. For example, Dragon Quest. Yeah, heard about that? Well, it's one of those games that when you see it, let's see, Dragon Quest, they have the hero on there. He made his appearance also on Smash, and then him with also other unnamed heroes, per se. I haven't quite dived into it, but I've seen their appearances, and also like in Chrono Trigger. And there's also like a cameo appearance. Well, I wouldn't really say cameo appearances, but we're gonna backtrack it back to Dragon Ball, where it was his old enemy called Dr. Slump, I believe, and there's, you know, about the scientist. Not many people may know about it, or barely any. But there was one character that pretty much stuck out who Goku met, and she was the little robot girl, Arali. She was one of those characters that was from his original anime, from his original Jump anime called Dr. Slump. And she goes on these different adventures, and, you know, with her being wacky and crazy, but she's really this overpowered robot girl. But you know, she his early creation, you know, made that appearance in Dragon Ball, and you know, stuff like that. It kind of, no, not kind of. It's actually pretty awesome seeing him bringing his characters onto the franchise also. Those had a good run, and also like even people who are not with Dragon Ball, such as you know, people who does fan art, people who does all these crazy wild videos or animation videos, like Toriyama was their big influence.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee you, like if you used to go to any, if you used to click onto any other anime person's page,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see like a Dragon Ball Z esque image. But aside from that, we all know that what happened back on March 1st was unexpected for the most of us, and yeah, it shocked a lot of people because we heard about it till I believe it was March the 6th, the 7th,
Mm-hmm.
and it touched a lot of people because that guy was the man, myth, and he was the legend. I'm not even going to say the myth. He was the legend that got people into this groove where
He helped popularize anime in the West.
There you go.
And when you look at early anime coming to the West on Toonami, Dragon Balls and Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon, some of this earlier stuff really, really helped popularize anime in the West. I'm going to say it again. In the West. Dragon Balls, Sailor Moon, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!
I think those four were the founding fathers that inspired people to look at anime.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest one was pretty much Dragon Ball Z. The next one involving the other one that involves the female side of heroines,
Mm-hmm.
would be Sailor Moon. Starting off, yeah, I did watch Dragon Ball.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what to make of it, but then when I looked at Sailor Moon, I was like, okay, that's cool. Then hop back onto Dragon Ball. This is getting better.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, as time progressed, how Goku continued his journey, and Toriyama is introducing all these different characters and creations and different ideas onto the franchise. Like all of that itself is what made it so popular.
Mm-hmm.
And so, major respects for that.
That you see that in other animes, the influence of whether it's a gag anime or whether it's that one little moment where a character pulls out a move from Dragon Balls or does a stance similar to one of the characters. It's just beautiful to see how he inspired people.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I can probably give you one little Easter egg of it in Cartoon Network. Many people heard about the Amazing World of Gumball, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there was a moment where, at first, I think in one episode where Gumball mentioned about if he controls his power, he can become a Super Saiyan. But it was like talk about it. But then, it was another episode where his little sister was being picked on by a bully, and it was the moment where Gumball snapped, and he became like a Super Saiyan. But it was them paying their, respect to the Dragon Ball Z franchise, and a lot of other shows actually did little Easter eggs like that. Also,
if you want to stick with Cartoon Network, kids that growing up in the early 2000s, everybody remembers seeing number 4 going Super Saiyan.
Yep, number 4 go.
Yeah. When you first said Cartoon Network, that's my mind went before Gumball. That's how I remember that.
Yeah.
That when they do that Kamehameha wave.
He did a lot of Gumball. I'm sorry, Vegeta.
Yeah. And I look up to your figurines, and I look, see 4-star Dragon Ball. Who would you say are your 7 favorite or most important characters in Dragon Balls? I'm gonna turn it towards you for a minute.
Let's see, my 7 most favorite. For me, that's a big number, but hey, 7 is that magical number. I'll have to roll with, of course, Goku, because he's the one who started it all. Secondly, it'll be Krillin. Now, these next few ones, they're going to be a little bit weird and awkward, alright? So, don't judge me. These are my favorite characters. So, of course, there's Goku and Vegeta. I'm sorry, Goku and Krillin. Next up, it's Android 18. Fourth, it's Nappa. Why Nappa? Because it was interesting seeing him, rampaging through, the Earth's mightiest warriors with his Cybermen and all that. But he quickly got mopped up by Goku. Sorry, Nappa. It is what it is. Next up, it would have to be Gotenks. Because, they were the ones who pretty much were introduced into the fusion. And with that, they became Goten and Trunks became Gotenks. And was actually able to lend a helping hand to defeat Majin Buu. But they were quickly stomped by his shenanigans and whatnot. But either way, Gotenks, they did a part, and I think that was, 5 or 6? That was 6. And as ridiculous as it may sound, my favorite character would have to be Hercule, Mr. Satan. Why is that? Through all that's been going on ever since his appearance, he is the only man who has ever survived through everything that these big time villains has ever thrown. Whatever they got at him. He got pimp smacked by Cell, punched in the face by Majin Buu, and lived. He actually cheated death a lot of times against Majin Buu. And also, for the most part, he was the one who actually helped Goku form that spirit bond, because the people of Earth didn't quite, believe, to help him out or what have you when they got resurrected. For those who don't know the anime, I am sorry for the spoilers. I am sorry. But, yeah, so that is my top 7. So, on to you. Who are your favorite 7?
So, my favorite Dragon Ball characters across the multimedia franchise. Number 1, you can't go wrong with Son Goku.
True.
Number 2 is Cell. A large part of that is inspired by the YouTuber Devil Artemis. And funny fact, because he makes videos with Cell and Kermit. So that's a large reason. And that also made me, when I actually got into Dragon Ball Super card game, I chose to go with the Cell deck. Number 3 is Trunks. And it's mainly based, Future Trunks to be more precise, which was based off of that moment, growing up as a kid when he sliced Frieza, because Frieza was just so hyped up to be this threat, and he just cut him in half. And then Android 18. Everybody love Android 18, man. Come on. Then Android 17. Another one, can't forget about our boy Piccolo.
I hate myself because I forgot about Piccolo. I'm sorry.
Don't forget about Piccolo.
I can't forget about Gohan's other dad, man.
Forget about Piccolo.
I forgot that's Gohan's dad. I'm sorry.
Oh.
Let's see. I think you had one more.
And finally, I'm a cheat. Kellen Khalifa.
So are we talking
from Universe 6?
So are we talking about the fusion, or are we talking about them separately?
Separately. That's why I said I'm a cheat. And then, you know what?
I'll allow it.
And I'm going to throw in one more to break that. Broly.
All right. Now, wait. Which one? Which Broly?
Dog. I'm going to say...
Hold on.
Dog. Do I want to go original Broly? Or do I want to go the Super Timeline Broly?
I don't know. You said that. You said Broly, because they're both. Well, one was a a brute who pretty much he wanted a piece of Kakarot for making him cry.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'll say
he was ridiculously strong.
I'll go with the new Broly because he had better control over his power, and I like how a little bit more versus. Let me just kill Dad. Now let me kill Vegeta and go.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right.
And shout out to our favorite Angel Beast. There's so much more that we can say about Dragon Balls that is we're reminiscing, thinking about the memories. All these memories are coming back to us from these shows to the video games. It's just so many words can really go into describing how this franchise has affected us in a positive way and just inspired us.
But speaking of that, I do want to ask the comments and those who are viewing this, who are your top 7 Dragon Ball Z fighters or Dragon Ball characters in general? That's one thing I want to know.
Yes, not only that, what are your 7 favorite Dragon Ball arcs?
Okay.
Alrighty.
Well, like I said, we could reminisce more about this, but we got to pay our respects to Akira Toriyama. So, Akira Toriyama, we think we thank you so much for all that you've done throughout the years of us knowing about your shows, your franchise, everything that you brought forth to American viewers in the West Coast, East Coast, whatever coast that y'all live on. We thank you so much for all that you've done for us and for making us, the people that we are today, just a bunch of anime lovers.
Yeah, anime, man. Appreciate you. Yeah.